GM.
Good morning, New York.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Spark Twain, and I smoke weed and I know things. Ooh, and it's not a joke. Today, we are going to talk about the Nouns DAO. When I first heard about the Nouns DAO was only 2 or 3 weeks ago, and it intrigued my interest. I actually heard about it through one of its derivative projects. I'm not going to mention any of them in this video. We're just going to keep it on point with the Nouns DAO. I wrote a script.
I did this for you guys because I don't want to waste your time.
A group of people got together and decided they wanted to create an NFT project that pooled 100% of the Ethereum gained and then gave that capital its best chance at being spent to benefit the greater good. Took 3 dabs before this video, and it's like...
The heat is on, the heat is on.
Whether they released 10,000 NFTs on the same day, or 1 NFT every day forever, the project needed a theme. What digitized memes could possibly represent the unlimited number of outcomes present on the other side of this economical thought experiment?
What images could possibly represent the expenditure of pooled funds benefiting the greater good?
I mean, it could be anything or everything, right? Hence, why they call it the Nouns Project. There are several philosophies which must be addressed to understand the Nouns DAO project in its full capacity. First, you must understand that the pictures themselves are meaningless. As meaningless as the cotton your USD is printed upon. So you can think of the code upon which the Nouns DAO project is built as the high quality cotton or the high quality plastic upon things like the USD or the Vietnamese dong are printed upon, even though the project is more like certificates of authenticity. The art has to be culturally relevant and mimetic in the sense that people want to share it, even if they're not part of the project. And then people want to show it, and I believe the Nouns have done that very well. It never really mattered what the NFTs looked like, but it did matter if people purchased them. No team wants to put time and effort into something only to have the general public go, yeah, it's practical, but je ne sais quoi, is it chic? The Nounders team decided it was in their best interests not to mint the ugliest NFT they possibly could.
Tout le monde va vouloir sa part du gâteau.
So we've established why the Nouns look the way they do, because they had to look some type of way. And in this instance, the mixer is pretty cool. Now, let's look at the big picture. The point of the Nouns DAO is to pool Ethereum together and spend it for the greater good of humanity. It does matter that people who contribute to the project receive a unique identifier which can be traded because if demand for voting power within the Nouns DAO increases rapidly, noun holders might want to capitalize on this phenomenon. Otherwise, it is logical to assume that the Nouns NFTs will be deflationary in the secondary market.
And the best part is, I got to contribute $1 million, and at the end of it, I got 90% of that back.
Does that make sense?
It will be a while before we see Nouns going for cheaper than their original purchase price, but I think it's logical to assume that, by the do-good nature of the program, participants will want to pass their voting power onto individuals most suited to carry out the goals of the DAO, instead of selling their voting power to fulfill the singular purpose of increasing their initial investment. Pool funds together and do good things for humanity. We have a general understanding. We can now look at how the Nouns DAO will affect the world around us. How much money is in the Nouns DAO bank? Well, we can see up here, highlighted in red, that there is 12,497 Ethereum, which is $52.2 million at the time I wrote this script. This is an average of 145 Ethereum per noun, not counting number 0, and ignoring that the creators of the project get every 10th noun for the first 5 years. So I didn't even include that in the math, so the average price of the noun actually I think is higher than 145 because nouns 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, and 80 all went to the founders of the project. It's in their multi-signature wallet. It means multiple people need to put in their passwords in order to open the wallet. At 145 Ethereum per noun, noting that we are on day 86 of the project, once we hit day 420 of the project, the vault will contain 60,900 Ether.
Ain't that a hell of a calculation?
Let's just pretend that Ethereum is worth $6,000 at 420 days from now. That's a total of $365.4 million the Nouns DAO would have at their disposal, and there would be exactly 420 votes able to be cast for every proposal made within the DAO. That's not very many. The United States Congress has 535 voting members, but the Bored Ape Yacht Club has 5,700 voting members, and they still seem to get things done pretty fast without breaking anything. Speaking of $365 million, how do you think the Nouns DAO would fare if they decided to put forth a presidential candidate by NASA? Start a record company for musicians that promote DeFi and blockchain mimetic development. And note that they could do that for any country in the world. As the auction continues to go here, you know what we're gonna do? Okay, so let's just take a look at what some of these nouns look like for the fun of it. Lipstick,
Selection noun, sponge noun, camera noun, pipe noun, trash noun, pipe noun, film noun, volleyball noun,
sunset noun,
pie noun, Saturn noun, garlic noun, pumpkin or squash noun, bubblegum noun.
So we can see the noun is minted and it is sent to this address. So this address has created every noun. Okay, so there's the other three nouns. Once it is purchased, it's sent to the person who purchased the noun. There are 5 people selling their nouns, and they are viewable on OpenSea. You can see the prices are fairly extreme. But are they really? Just like any other corporation, Nouns DAO could be infiltrated, and I believe people will attempt this. However, the tipping point may have already been reached. Many whales, the individuals holding the most crypto, know of the Nouns DAO project, and I'm sure they have come to the same conclusions that I have. The Nouns DAO is a place for whales to gather, and eventually, it may be the most logical place for them to gather. It's going to force people to give up control of their wealth in favor of the massive good. The price to enter the DAO is low compared to the price of keeping someone out. Yet, here we see 5 nouns for sale on OpenSea. These nouns could be used to push forth the suggestion that Nouns DAO happens to back you for presidential candidate. Or perhaps you want to get the ball rolling on restoring the coral reefs and you want to buy all 5 nouns, that way you can better direct the focus of the Nouns DAO on cleaning up the ocean. The Nouners are the founders of the team, and they will remain with the ability to veto any passing DAO proposal until an unspecified time in the future when they will let themselves be voted out, and the organization will then be truly decentralized. A single Nouns DAO member could put forth the suggestion that Nouns DAO purchase a majority stake in a specific company, and if the Nouners let the proposal go to vote and it passes, I think we would all be extremely surprised to see just how quick a group of decentralized teammates can get stuff done. That's the end of my script. Okay. So we can see what the nouns look like here. There's not very many of them yet, but there's going to be one every day forever. And you can see they've submitted a new proposal actually just since yesterday. They submitted this one. Voting starts in 2 days. Brave proposes a partnership between Nouns DAO and the browser native ad unit to come together and use the 24-hour takeover as a space to showcase the Nouns project on the first day of NFT NYC. I suppose that would be really good for this video, wouldn't it? Nouns DAO representative 4156 will DocuSign agreement, and Nouns DAO will execute payment when the proposal passes. Community members will provide artwork for 3 sponsored images in collaboration with Brave Ads team. Here's an article from Punk4156 on medium.com, funding real-world public goods with the Nouns DAO treasury. In the Nouns virtuous cycle, we talked about utilizing the Nouns DAO treasury to enhance infrastructure for building on nouns. Since then, we've funded projects like 3D Nouns Generator, Nouns Party, Nouns iOS app, and more. Today, I'd like to use another analogy to describe the nouns. Nouns as crypto-powered superheroes. In just over 2 months, Nouns DAO has aggregated over 10,000 Ethereum, and more importantly, some of the brightest minds in the cryptoverse. We can think about the nouns individually as little superheroes with different abilities, and the Nouns DAO treasury as the glue that makes them a powerful team like the Avengers or Voltron. If we buy into this analogy, then we're left with the question of where to apply our superpowers. Where are large amounts of no strings attached capital and expertise that can usually only be aggregated in the cryptoverse needed outside of the cryptoverse? Personally, I think one answer is to use the Nouns DAO treasury to begin funding real-world public goods. Like it or not, most of the world still exists outside the cryptoverse. In case you hadn't noticed, things aren't going so well there. Crypto natives increasingly have the power and capital to have a positive impact in the real world. But to date, most of the real world signals people have seen from us are not so compelling. Crypto outsiders may not understand the mechanics of the cryptoverse, but they do understand the real world fallout. If crypto imparts us with capital aggregating superpowers, and we only use these superpowers to buy Rolex watches and lavish trips to Dubai, the outside world will reject our vision of the future, and rightly so. For the first time, we can use NFTs as filtering mechanisms to simultaneously aggregate large amounts of capital, like-minded people, and positively brand the activities they carry out in the real world. This spring, the CryptoPunk community funded billboard advertisements in Miami and New York in what was one of the first attempts to create a more utopian meeting place for the cryptoverse and the real world. The nouns can take this one step further. We have aggregated the capital and expertise to not just market a crypto-utopian view of the world, but to begin to build with it. Our superpower is a mechanism for funding and building public goods, among other things, that accrue value back to the original work of art in the form of brand equity. The status and brand power of operating a noun can exist proportional to our ability to help make things better for everyone, and the increase in brand power will yield more ETH in the treasury for creating even more impact. While a truly permissionless pool of capital won't have an explicit purpose, it will be subject to a marketplace of credible ideas and fund the best ones. In addition to building infrastructure for proliferating nouns, I think there are compelling reasons to fund real-world public goods using the Nouns DAO treasury, and to teach the world about nouns and the superpowers of the cryptoverse. Yo, bravo to 4156. That was an amazing piece of writing. Nouns are an experimental attempt to improve the formation of on-chain avatar communities. While projects such as CryptoPunks have attempted to bootstrap digital community and identity, nouns attempt to bootstrap identity, community, governance, and a treasury that can be used by the community. So here, this is the Nouns Bank on Etherscan. You can see $52 million, 12,000 Ether, you know. There was a Nouns comic book, so this was a proposal they put forth. And you can see they're completely transparent. So if you're somebody who is interested in learning about programming in Solidity, which is the programming language you use to build and run applications, which are typically decentralized applications on the Ethereum blockchain, this information might be really cool for you to dive into and just get in there and see what you can learn by reading about this stuff. I think that the Nouns DAO website is the ultimate alpha. So they'll put forth a proposal and then the DAO community will vote on it. So we can actually go and take a look, and we can go to proposals, and you know what, we'll follow this one. We'll put it into announcements. So here you can see the proposals inside of the Nouns DAO. If you're interested in learning about this project, I highly suggest dropping into the Discord for any NFT project you're interested in, you should drop into the Discord. If you know about Discord and how it works, you're looking at this going, whoa, that is a crazy amount of servers. Every one of these messages here is spam. You're not into NFTs or anything like that, but you're thinking about getting into it, or you saw the advertisement for the Nouns project in New York and are like, what is that? You decide to look it up. You want to get more into it. You're going to get into Discord for the first time. If you're just getting into Discord for the first time, be careful because the spam is going crazy and it's only going to continue to get crazier in this space, but we will see technological development that helps keep spam to a minimum. At its core, a noun is glasses, a body, and a noun for a head on a 32 by 32 pixel canvas. Nouns typically keep their snouts, handles, chords, and other appendages inside the area defined by a circle drawn within this canvas for use as a clean profile pic. So they don't have to be available on OpenSea. That's what the most powerful part about this is. I thought for a long time, you release an NFT project, a 10K project, as soon as it's not available to be purchased on OpenSea, that's a problem. But if you have your own website and you can drive people to it, you know, that's awesome. The resale on OpenSea, fine, or wherever, you know. But mostly it's gonna be long-term holders. It's super cool that we get to see this happen in real time, the bid ending. Here we go. Wow, that's so cool. Now, actually, we can go here on OpenSea. That they don't want that in their wallet. That's not supposed to be there. Pretty soon, we're gonna see a new noun show up. I wonder if the person has to settle the auction in order for the next one to start. Okay, well that was fun. It was awesome getting to explore that with y'all. You know, I make hip hop NFTs at app.cypher.media, and then you go to the marketplace, you look for Spark Twain, sparktwain.eth. That's a working address. You know, if you ever send me an NFT, I will never sell it. I keep saying that on this channel, you know. I don't know what I'll end up with. Probably a lot of garbage, but maybe a couple good things too. I would really appreciate it if you showed some love to this video. Give it a like, drop a comment. If you have other questions about the Nouns DAO project, drop them in the comments below. I have a feeling that they will probably see this video. Make sure to subscribe to the channel because I got way more updates about the Nouns DAO and other DAOs coming. Oh yeah, so I'm going to make another video. There's 3 large derivative projects that I know of, 2 of which have already bought a noun, the 3rd of which has not bought a noun, but they did buy a CryptoPunk. And I'm gonna make videos on all of those derivatives and then begin to move into more focusing on what I'm doing, and you'll see me create a DAO in real time, somebody with no programming knowledge, just a dream and like 15 cents, and I'm gonna make it happen. You're gonna see it happen in real time. So if you're interested in decentralized autonomous organizations, you are at the right YouTube channel. My name is Spark Twain, and I smoke weed and I know things. A group of people got together and decided they wanted to create an NFT project that pooled 100% of the Ethereum gained and then gave that capital its best chance at being spent to benefit the greater good. Yeah, I mean, imagine that. You're buttered toast on a counter. Someone puts you on the counter in 1936 in Yugoslavia. And you're still on that counter today, almost 100 years later. You're a piece of buttered toast. The world around you is changing. Can you feel it? You don't know what's going on out there. If someone were to present to you an iPhone, you'd be as surprised as any other piece of buttered toast. But the tension, I'm sure it can be felt. Ooh, shit is falling apart out there.